Hello and welcome to Tolaris University. In this video, we'll show you how to configure and display custom information for your master. Now, we assume in this video that you have XPressEntry installed, which you see in the middle of my screen here, and that you have your handheld installed and connected, which you see on the far right of my screen. Now, the very first thing we want to do is to go into the settings. So let's go into Tools and select Settings. And then let's go into the Reader Profiles and select Masters. Now the master display is by default not customized. So if we just go into XPressEntry on the right hand side, let us switch to the master mode, and by default it is displayed with the default settings. Now if you want to configure a custom display, we already have some sample SQL queries so that you can use that to build your own special query. So let's just hit sample to pull out that query, and it just pops up the query. So let's hit save and see what that looks like. So it's pretty much the same thing, but just giving you the sample query to modify and make your own type of queries. So let's clean this out a little bit so that we can see what this query actually does. So if you look here, this query is actually selecting the last name and putting a comma in the middle, as you can see there, and selecting the first name and then putting a next line, as you can see there. And then it is putting out the dates in this date format, and then putting the next line, which you can see there, and then it's displaying the zones at the end of the display. So let's say we want to add a new line. So let's just copy out this next line and put it right there. And let's say we want to just add a new line and say select name from companies where companies dot ID equals users dot company ID. It's a simple query to display the company name. So let's see what happens when we do that. So as you can see on the right hand side, it is displaying the company names just at the end with the next line and then this query at the end. So it's really as simple as that. If you want some very special or complex queries, you can always reach out to us or build your own queries to display whatever you want on that page. So something else we can do is we can also modify this page that shows the user details and does the manual muster. This is how it looks by default, but we can actually modify that screen as well. So we also have a sample query for you just in case you want to build your own query. Let's also clean this out and just display in a way that we can understand. So if you look on the screen, this is displaying the last name, as you can see there, Baker, and it's displaying the first name, as you can see, Abigail, and then it's displaying the ID right there, and that is pretty much it. So let's say we want to add that company to the list. So let's copy this, and just before the end of the query here, we just add that line. Let's see what happens when we do that. We're expecting to see the company name right at the end, which you see just at the end of the display here. So you can modify this display to look however you want, and it is very flexible. One more thing you can do on this screen is to align the text. So you can see the text is already aligned in the middle, but here we can align. Let's see, for instance, we want to align this left. Hit save. You see the text aligned to the left. There you go. Or you can align to the right. Hit save. You can see this align to the right. There you go. And the next thing we can do is we can either reduce or increase the size. It's a standard size by default. Let's say we want to reduce this to 15. And let's see how that goes. So it's a lot smaller. Or let's say we want to increase this to 25 and see how that goes. It should be a lot bigger. There you go. So it's really straightforward and simple, and you can basically display whatever you want on this page and modify it in really nice ways to suit your own application. Now this brings an end to demonstration of this feature. Please remember that we have an extensive video on the mustering feature. Please feel free to reach out to us at helpdesk@Telarus.com if you have any technical queries, or sales@Telarus.com if you have any product inquiries. Thank you.